All right, guys, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the last one. Now, let's try and get into level 2 using the password that we grabbed at the end of level 1. So, we'll be following our usual syntax for SSH. We'll be using Bandit 2 this time instead of Bandit 1, right? And let me just finish typing this real quick. If I know how to type, that is. Well, all right, now that we've entered this, it's going to ask for a password again. This time we're going to be providing it with the password that we grabbed in the last level. I'll do Control Shift C, Control Shift V, and hit enter, wait for it. All right, we're in as Bandit 2. All right, now let's go on to the wargame page and let's see what level 2 wants us to do to get to level 3. All right, so the password for the next level is stored in a file that's called this literally spaces in the file name located in the home directory. Here's another interesting thing that I want to notice. Now you see that it's starting with a dash. So we'll definitely be doing what we were doing in the last one. We'll be specifying that we want to grab this file in our home directory. But here's the catch, and let me show you by doing it. All right, so let me just list the files. Let's just confirm if you're in the right directory. We are. Here's the file that's literally called spaces in the file name. Let's try to do what we did in the last level. Okay, so we'll be doing this dash dash spaces in the file name. Now, you would think that this should work because we are specifying, you know, that we're looking for this specific file in our home directory. But let's see if it works or not. See, what it did is it gave us 4 different errors, and seeing these, we can clearly identify that even though it is trying to search in our specific directory, but it is interpreting these 4 words as different files or different directories, right? And it's trying to cat them out all at the same time, which obviously was not going to work. I'll tell you why. See, naming conventions in Linux are very different from those in Windows. So, if you're naming something like this, which has spaces, especially when you're interacting with the command line in Linux, which is the terminal as we call it, it will automatically try and assume everything that comes after a space as a different part of the command. All right, which is why we get this error. It's assuming that these 4 words are going to be different files that are present in the directory, but that's not true. We only have one file, right? What do we do in this case? In this, what we are going to use is something called escape characters. Let me show you how that's done as well. Just like we will be repeating the same thing that we typed earlier, but now before I hit a space and I start typing something, I'll just make a backslash. Okay, and then I'll type in the file name. Hopefully this should work. Okay, it didn't work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Okay, it's not in the file name, it's in this file name. Sorry, it's my bad. I'll just make this work again. Yeah, now we have the password. So here is what actually happened. Whenever we put a backslash, right, it specified and it told the terminal that the next space or the next special character that's going to come is part of the same thing. It should not be interpreted as a different piece of the command. So this is why we just put a backslash in front of every space that we encountered so that the terminal interpreted this as one thing. All right, here's a neat little trick in case you are ever confused about where to actually put this. So what we can do is, let me just type the same command that we are following earlier, and I'll just type spaces. I won't do anything else. I'll just hit tab, and you see it automatically just grabs the escape characters, puts them in their place, and now we can just hit enter and grab the password. Right, so if you have autocomplete, this is a neat little trick that you can do to save time as well. Let's say if this was a long file name, let's say if this was spaces in this file name present in this current directory, you would not be actually typing everything and putting backslashes, right? You can just hit tab and it will do the work for you. So this is an important thing. This is level that this level told us that there is a special way that you can bypass the naming conventions in Linux by putting spaces, right? But before those spaces, you'll also have to enter backslashes.